Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session that was created for a client that felt uncomfortable trying different types of food, particularly in situations where they didn't necessarily know the people around them, or it felt like they were going to be watched. And there's two interesting elements of how people feel desire for food. One is what they associate with that food, and secondly, how they think about that food. Typically, foods that are desirable, the way they're imagined is close up and from a first-person perspective, and almost associated with other senses like heat or smell or taste. So that increases desire. Those foods that are unappealing are further away, or there's something about it that kind of creates a revulsion, and that might be other associations linked to that. And what's interesting is that for a person to believe that they like a food, there is a particular way that they think about it, and they put it in their timeline of being in the past. Maybe they have memories of them eating the food and enjoying the food, and because they have that memory, it then feels like it's a safe thing to do. So if I said, for example, what most people would describe as a disgusting food, let's say, imagine eating insects or cockroaches, because you've never had the experience of eating that, you would associate with, dirty things that crawl across, a kitchen. So you probably would have a feeling of disgust. You might create a picture in your mind of them moving. But something you find delicious like chocolate or ice cream or like a nice meal, you would think about that in a very different way. And what this hypnosis session does is it uses virtual reality and this idea of a simulation to enable the client to experience eating different categories of food from a first-person perspective and feeling like they've done that again and again and again. So it feels like it's in their past rather than something in their future. So if you've been described as a fussy eater, or it's difficult for you to try new foods, then you might get some value from this session. But equally, if you feel like you would benefit from something more customized, there will be a link in the description where you can schedule a completely free consultation call to explore working with me. And there's also a suitability test in the description as well, so you can see if you would make a good candidate for hypnotherapy. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense of feeling like you're drifting off to a safe place within your imagination. So breathe in deeply, and on the next exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, that's it. Feel a release of any tension. Tension around the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. Just enable your body to drift down, deeper down, And perhaps you notice that the slower you breathe, the deeper you can breathe. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you can feel. Breathing in relaxation and exhaling tension, enabling you to drift deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to imagine a fireman's pole. I want you to imagine you are on an upper floor and you can see a pole that goes down to a level below. And in that level below is a futuristic virtual reality simulator. But right now, you're on the upper level that we can call the conscious mind. But I want you to imagine in a few seconds' time to slide down that long fireman's pole. And as you go down, just imagine you're accessing a deeper part of your subconscious mind. That's it. Start sliding down that pole. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. With each descending number, feel that you're sliding downwards, deep down to your subconscious mind. And when I arrive at 1, you will then touch the floor of a new room. The room that contains the futuristic virtual reality simulation. So sliding down now, 5, more and more relaxed, 4, deeper down. 3, just imagine the sensation of sliding downwards. 2, all the way down now. 1 and 0, just imagine, there you go, touching down on a new floor. And look around this floor within your imagination. Because if the upper floor was the conscious, this floor can be the subconscious. The lower decks of your mind. And I want you to imagine seeing a state-of-the-art, futuristic virtual reality simulator. Maybe it's a whole suit that you climb into, or maybe just a headset. But this is so cutting edge that the moment you put on that simulator, it is indistinguishable from reality. But it doesn't have to follow the rules of reality. You can teleport to any place. Time can speed up or slow down. It just feels like it's real. And when you're ready, enter the simulation. And when you've entered the simulation, I want you to imagine a luxurious shopping mall. And you are in the food court of this luxurious shopping mall. And this food court has restaurant after restaurant after restaurants of all the different types of foods. And when you could imagine being there in that shopping mall near the food court, just let me know by nodding your head. And you can walk around, you can imagine jumping. Everywhere you look, it looks like you're seeing things through your own eyes. But because it's a VR headset, you have access to information. And one of those dashboards or dials is your hunger. And I want you to dial your hunger all the way up to an 8, 9, or a 10. Hunger is the biological desire to eat. And there are people that would eat anything if they're hungry enough. There's been people stranded on a boat that would eat raw fish or seagulls just because they were so hungry. I want you to imagine you're so hungry, you have the desire to eat. But this food court doesn't have horrible food. It has the very best food. And I want you to imagine seeing a restaurant in this food court that serves chicken. And I want you to imagine walking up and either looking at a menu or a board of different options. And each time you see an option, imagine that meal, that dish within your mind's eye that presents it in the most desirable way. If it's grilled chicken breast, imagine it cooked in the right way, served with the right foods. And if it's a chicken sandwich, imagine the right bread, presented in the right way. And notice how easy it is to see words and convert them into a desirable image within your imagination. But this is just a simulation. I want you to imagine what it would be like to condense 1,000 meals into just a few moments. Every possible way of eating chicken, you could imagine experiencing it. Chicken and vegetables, chicken and rice, chicken in a sandwich, grilled chicken, and different parts of the chicken, chicken wings, chicken thigh, a drumstick, perhaps chicken in a stir fry. Imagine all the different ways, but imagine not just intellectually, but experientially. Imagine eating the chicken and enjoying it. It feels safe. And occasionally, there might be certain ways of eating chicken that are just presented in a way that doesn't appeal to you. And that might be the flavors, the spices, the seasoning that don't quite make it desirable for you. And this is just information for you to figure out what you like and what you don't like. But I want you to imagine condensing years of eating all the different ways of eating chicken in this one restaurant in the food court. And you can connect to the desire, the safety, the feeling of familiarity, the feeling that now when you look at that chicken menu, all of these foods you've had on many occasions and it feels like you're past now. You've already eaten these before, they feel safe. And then walk to the next restaurant that serves every possible combination of pasta dishes. Spaghetti, penne. I want you to see lasagna. even macaroni cheese. I want you to see all of these different combinations of pasta dishes. Perhaps you could imagine 100 tables with 100 different dishes. Because this is just a simulation, you could imagine eating all 100, but dialing up the desire and dialing up this feeling of familiarity and safety. And you'll notice there's certain ways of thinking about certain pasta dishes that feel more desirable to you. Some pasta dishes are cold, some are hot. And maybe you like the hot dishes more than the cold. Some are accompanied with meat or vegetables, and some might be quite plain. But I want you to condense years of eating pasta into this one restaurant. And if it feels that this is manageable, and you're growing your discernment of knowing what you like and don't like, just let me know by nodding your head. But because this is a simulation, you can see your hunger is still on 8, 9, or 10. So you leave the restaurant not feeling full, still with hunger, still with desire, but now I want you to see a steakhouse. And this steakhouse offers every combination of steaks and grilled meats. Each table a different meal, each accompanied with different vegetables or salads and garnishes. And I want you to imagine not just seeing the foods, but eating the foods and enjoying the foods. All the different ways of having a steak, the different cuts, fillet steak, sirloin, a rump, a T-bone. Testing out all the different variations of how it's cooked, everything from rare to well done. And notice your discernment, your desire. What might be disgusting if it's cooked in a certain way is desirable if it's cooked in a different way. No right or wrong, just information. And just feel that you've had every combination. Even rarer steaks. An ostrich steak. I want you to imagine all the different meats and combinations and all the different drinks that could accompany it. And in the same restaurant, I want you to imagine a salad bar with every possible vegetable and salad and even fruit from every part of the world. And I want you to notice those things you've had many times before, like lettuce or tomato. They're okay. They feel safe and familiar. But I want you to notice when there's something you've never had before, the desire and curiosity increases. Maybe it's a vegetable from a different part of the world that you never knew existed. And change any thoughts of, I've never had that before, to, what a wonderful opportunity to experience that new type of food. Because you already know that vegetables and fruits are generally foods you already like. So consider this an easy win to expand the foods you feel comfortable with. And the more varieties you try, the more your confidence grows. You leave this place and then you see a fish restaurant with every possible fish and shellfish there is. The steaky types of fish like tuna and salmon, the meaty white fishes like cod and haddock. And then I want you to see the rarer fishes. Maybe you see things like crab or lobster, but I want you to imagine seeing them presented on a plate in the most desirable way, and just imagine condensing years of testing and trying and choosing all of these different food combinations. So it feels like you've done this many, many times before. And then notice there's a whole different section of the same restaurant with all the different dairy things that exist. Eggs and yogurts, milks and cheeses. And in particular, you can't help but think that cheese is just the solid form of milk. And if you like milk, then you feel that it's safe to try different varieties of cheeses, knowing that nobody likes them all. But by choosing something and knowing that you do or do not like it, turns you into someone with refined tastes. Someone with refined taste is someone that simply knows what they like and what they don't. I want you to imagine years of being in this food court, trying every combination of every type of food, knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, thinking about foods in a way that means each time you choose is a shot to nothing. If you like it, you eat it. If you don't, you don't. But each attempt makes you more distinguished, more refined, more confident, and more comfortable. It's time to leave this food court, but you leave feeling like you've got years and years of eating all these different foods, so that in the future they're not daunting, they don't feel out of the comfort zone, they feel very, very familiar and manageable. So as you leave the food court, go back into that mall, I want you to see a pole going upwards. But this time I want you to imagine climbing up the pole. And as you climb up the pole, feel that you're shifting perspective from the subconscious to the conscious. I want you to get a sense that the virtual reality, you're taking off the headset, continuing to climb up that pole, feeling like you're returning to what we can call the conscious mind. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. That's it. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.